Hey guys, and welcome to Quality Shot. Indian Wells ATP draw is now out, so we're going to go over that. Very excited to see exactly what the draw does behold. Well, spoiler alert, I have actually had a quick look at it. Even did my little bracket on TNS as well, which is the live tennis app made by fans. That's not even an endorsement. I'm just telling you what happened. Anyways, let's get into this. So, interestingly, Novak Djokovic is in the draw. Now, that's not to say that he will be playing. There's always changes to the draw because of injuries or people then ending up pulling out, or someone gets COVID, or in this instance, he'll be applying for another medical exemption, so it'll be another kind of Australian Open little bit. But because it's a Masters 1000, and I think it's been going on for a bit of time, they will make a decision pretty soon. I think it's the CDC. I have to make a decision. So I would be surprised if he plays, honestly. But considering that Indian Wells just said like you have to be vaccinated now, the exemption from what we found out in Australia is not particularly valid. Maybe, I mean, I don't know. Either way, valid in the sense that they didn't deem it valid anyway. So whether Indian Wells take a different stance, and I don't know. But anyway, the BNP Paribas Opens, or even it's going to be one of those slow, hard court events. It has been historically as well. You'd imagine it'll play similarly. So I think some of the players who are quite comfortable on the clay might have some success here as well. Of course, it's not the same service or same surface, or even, but it is a surface that is akin to clay in a way. So some of the players who do like higher bounce, and they also like slightly slower court, they may have success here, which makes sense as to why Cam Norrie won it last year. Of course, the reigning champion Cam Norrie, remember that. So let's go through it. Daniil Medvedev with a bye, so he will play the winner of Poprin or a qualifier. I think that's a pretty easy little section there for him. Krajinovic and Lajovic, the two Serbs going at it. I'm actually going to go with Krajinovic there. And then Monfils will play the winner of that. Monfils has been in fantastic form, and I'm hoping that he can go deep and potentially even win the tournament. I mean, it's going to be a big ask, but he's been in good form, and I think he is in the twilight of his career, but isn't it a bit of an Indian summer? And ironically, Indian summer, Indian Wells. Hey, could it happen? I don't know, but we'll see. Carlos Alcaraz, I mean, how exciting is this youngster? Amy, of course, talking about how much she loves Carlos Alcaraz in the other video. I did a very short preview of Indian Wells with her. And he is the most exciting, I think, young talent on tour, in my opinion. So he will be playing either McDonald or Fuchsovic in the second round. And for me, Fuchsovic comes through that. Then we've got qualifying Gaston. Gaston, I mean, should be okay to win that. And then RBA against, well, no one. He's got a bye as well because he's seeded. He will most likely play Gaston, and I would back RBA to come through that. Then we've got champ Cam Norrie with a bye. He will play either Pedro Martinez or the qualifier in there. Again, I think he should come through that pretty unscathed. And then we've got Fabio Fognini versus Anderhal. Anderhal is a bit of a tricky opponent, but Fognini should have enough. And then he'll play Basilashvili, even, who was the finalist last year. Now, you would have expected him to maybe not have played as well as he did in Indian Wells last year because of how slow the surface can be. But I think maybe it gives him more time as well to unleash those rockets. So it will be a tough ask for Fognini, I think, against Basilashvili, but I might actually back Fognini in that one. And then Khachanov has got a bye, and Khachanov will play the winner of Brooksby and Karabayas Bayana. I actually think Brooksby's going to beat Khachanov and Karabayas Bayana, but we'll see. We'll see. Cerandulo versus Sok. Sok's really exciting. So I'll say that he'll get through. But I think Tsitsipas should deal with whoever gets through that first round. And then Nadal's got a bye. He'll play either quarter or a qualifier. Now, quarter's quite, well, for me, is a very difficult, I think, first match for Nadal. He should win that, though. Come on, Rafa. Let's see if you can keep that unbeaten streak going. And then we've got Korea against Cuevas. I want to go with Korea, and then Evans to beat either, though I think he should be okay to beat them. But you never know in tennis. Pelka has got a bye. He'll play either Marcus Giron or Lorenzo Musetti. I actually think Musetti's going to win that. I'm feeling quite good about how he's been playing on the hard courts. A little bit better, I think, than what I was imagining maybe he would do so far this year. But so far, so good. I think he's had some decent results, and I'm hoping that he can continue to build upon that. Now, the big thing about that, though, right, is realistically against Apelka, will Musetti have enough of a game to beat Apelka because he has to return on a slower surface? It does mean that Apelka, the serve might be nullified a tiny bit, but not really because then he can just hit big kick serves. With his height, it's a nightmare. So, but in saying that, Musetti does like and doesn't mind the higher bouncing ball because, of course, he is and has been a bit more of a clay court player in the infancy of his career. So I'm actually going to go with Musetti to cause the upset, but it's a big call. Then Koric versus ADF or Davidovich Fokina. I think Davidovich Fokina should come through that, but Shapovalov then should dispatch him, I would imagine. But it just depends what kind of headspace Shapovalov is in. He's been a bit all over the place, to be honest with you, since making that Wimbledon semi-final. Then Sinner has got a bye. He'll play either Kwon or Zhe. I think Kwon will get through that, and then Sinner will get through him. And then we've got Bonzi and Ridderneck. Ridderneck to come through that for me, and he'll play Sonego. I think Sonego will win that. He is also a pretty talented player, but we've only seen him in bursts, so I'm hoping that he can start to piece it together because he's quite an exciting player on tour, and you want to see all these players playing to their best potential and then see where the land lies, right? Del Bonis has got a bye, and then Kyrgios versus Bays. I think Kyrgios should come through that. Kyrgios versus Del Bonis should be okay as well. I think he will end up meeting Rude, which will be a very interesting matchup because he's called Rude, like a clay court bully, and basically said that he's only good on the clay, and that's the only reason why he's ranked so highly. So there will be a lot of tensions going into that match and a lot to prove if they do end up playing. I really wish they do because I really hope they do. Sorry, even because that will be a blockbuster match. Qualifier will play Cressy. I think Cressy should come through that. Cressy against Rude, by the way, this is not an easy match for Rude at all. He should have enough in terms of quality, but Cressy's tactic of serving and volleying comes to the net a lot will definitely, I think, cause Rude some problems. He'll have to adjust pretty quickly, but he'll know it's coming. It's just how does he counteract that? We'll see. Berrettini's got a bye. He'll play most likely Ugo Umber in his first match. Ugo Umber playing a qualifier, and I think Umber might actually have a chance of upsetting Berrettini. He's had a couple of injuries. Has missed, I think, a few weeks. It just depends on how fully fit he is. If he's fully fit, he should get through on Bird because the serve is just so potent and the forehand. But we'll see. Umber's very talented. Wouldn't be surprised if he manages to have some sort of success against Berrettini. Whether it's a win, I'm not sure. Then we've got Bagnes versus Laxonen. I think Laxonen comes with that for me. And then against Lloyd Harris, who has had an up and down start to the year. Had a really good year last year, of course, breaking into the top 30 or top 50, sorry, even. And now you can see he's seeded 30. He's got a bye. He'll be hoping to make a deepish run here anyway. So I'll back him to beat Laxonen. Then Cilic has got a bye. He'll play most likely Kekmanovic or a qualifier. He should get through either player. And then we've got Van der Zand Schlupp as playing a qualifier. Should get through that. He's a good player. He'll play FAA in his second round match and FA's first match of the tournament. Now, most likely, if we see that, I think FA should get through okay. It's not an easy match, though. That's what I'm going to say. For FA, he needs to be on top of his game, but he's been in very good form this year. I've been really impressed with the maturity and also, just how well he's been playing, to be honest with you. He managed to win in Rotterdam in that final against Rublev, where I thought he played some exceptional tennis. He then lost another final to Rublev the following tournament. So he's made some finals. He's won a tournament as well. His first ATP tournament, which is a really big, for me, a really, really big deal because he'd made so many finals prior and didn't manage to get it done. So that will help him going forward mentally and hopefully he can continue to make runs. And for example, if he was to win a Masters 1000, it would give him a big boost going into the rest of the season. So I'm kind of looking, even though my prediction is Nadal, just because, again, I'm a little bit biased because I'm a Nadal fan, but not just that, I think, given his form, so he will be the favourite. But I think obviously that run has to end at some point. Now, whether it is to someone like Djokovic if he plays, that's not surprising at all. But again, I don't think it's particularly surprising if someone like an FAA wins it or an Alcaraz wins it. I think those types of players can win these types of tournaments. It's just a question of how does the draw go for them? How are they playing? Do they get, if some of the seeds drop out early and then it kind of, do you know what I mean? It softens the deal for them a little bit, which is nice. So we'll see. We'll see. But it's going to be a very, very competitive tournament. There's not many people injured. Obviously, Dominic Thiem's not playing. He is missing Indian Wells and Miami. Hopefully, we see him in the clay court swing, but it just seems that his comeback just keeps on getting delayed and delayed. We'll see. Pablo Carreño Busta's got a bye. He'll play a qualifier in the next round. So that's nice for him, isn't it? He's got a nice little section there to just kind of ease himself into it. They've got Madrak versus Badin. I think Badin's going to win that, but Fritz will then blitz Badin. He's just been playing so well. They've got ADM Alex de Minaur versus Ivashka or Struff. I've seen Struff live, and he's actually quite exciting to watch, but he's just a little bit inconsistent. So I think Ivashka will get through. And then I'm actually going to go with Ivashka to beat de Minaur, but we'll see. Dimitrov versus Tommy Paul. I'm going to go. I'm going to go for the upset. I'm going to go Tommy Paul. I just think Dimitrov, again, just a little bit of inconsistency in the last year or so. I know he did also have COVID and he had long COVID, so that would have affected his game as well. But I'm just wondering whether it's still affecting him or whatever else is going on mentally as well. But I'm going to go with Tommy Paul. He's at home as well, technically. So let's go with him. And then Zverev to beat him. Zverev, of course, playing Indian Wells. I just got a slap on the wrist, a fine. And yes, it is technically a banned or suspended ban, but he only gets banned if he ends up doing a similar offense in the next 12 months. If you want to see my thoughts on that, you can watch it on a separate video uploaded earlier this week. Rublev has got a bye. He'll play either Kepfer or Pair. I think it will be Kepfer personally, and then I think he should be okay with Kepfer. Mannarino versus Nakashima. That's a really good match. I'm going to go Mannarino because of the nature of the surface. Although I'm saying the nature of the surface, but yeah, he's a steady player, but he doesn't hit with huge amount of topspin. He's quite flat. He actually likes the quicker surfaces and likes to deflect, balls back at his opponent. So I'm actually going to go Nakashima. And then I'm going to go TFO to beat Nakashima. Then I've got Karatsev, who's got a bye. He'll play either Steve Johnson or Altmaier. I'm going to Altmaier. And then Karatsev, I think he'll lose to Altmaier. I think he's, again, been a little bit all over the place. Let's see. Gasquet and Otter. I'm going to go Gasquet and then her catch to beat Gasquet. Her catch has got a bye. Schwartzman has got a bye as well. He'll play either qualifier or Rusevori. I think Schwartzman should be okay to beat Rusevori or the qualifier, whoever it is. And you've got Greixpor and Sam Querrey. I'm actually going to go Greixpor. He's had a pretty good start to this year, even. And I saw him play live against Zverev at Wimbledon, and you could see he did have a little bit about him. But it was his first ever appearance at Wimbledon, and he was on court one, and probably a little bit of tension and nerves, and Zverev was just playing really well as well. Like, he was just too good. But he's come into a little bit of form, and I think he'll beat Querrey. And then he's got John Isner. He's got two big servers back to back, potentially, if he wins that first match. I think John Isner will probably have a bit too much, but let's see. Keep an eye on Greixpor. He's not a dark horse. I don't think he's going to win the tournament, but I think he could potentially, for example, make a last 16, for example. Bublik has got a bye. He'll play either Andy Murray or qualify. I mean, Andy Murray and Bublik just play all the time, apparently. It's just becoming a regular fixture. I think Murray will beat his qualifier, and then I actually think that Murray will beat Bublik as well. I genuinely think Murray will beat Bublik. And then we've got Thompson versus Goffin. I think Goffin's going to win, and then Djokovic should beat Goffin. That's actually tracking towards a potential Djokovic-Murray. I think it's a quarterfinal. Which would be really exciting to see. Who knows how that goes, eh? Who knows? Anyways, thanks very much, guys, for tuning in. Do appreciate it. Please remember to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. My pick is Nadal to win, but it's not very certain whatsoever. And I just think, given his form, I'd be a fool to go against him, really. And then in terms of, so I'm saying that that's obviously my winner. In terms of dark horse, I'm actually going to go with Alcaraz. I just have a feeling that he's going to do pretty well in this tournament, but let's see. Anyways, thank you very much, guys. Stay safe and well, and I'll see you on the next video.